Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Miss Passmore, and as promised, coming to you making this video with how we can finish this homework assignment. So in class, you can see on the screen that we started evaluating functions, determining the domain and range. We've been practicing this skill for a couple days, and honestly, we're getting pretty good. So I'm going to scroll down to the second page and recap what we did in class. This very last one right here when we had a bit of a snowball fight. So on this page here, we started off by evaluating g of -1. So that meant that x was -1. So we went and found on the x-axis where x is equal to -1, which is right here. And we're looking to see where that crossed with our graph, which was this point right here. And remember, f of x or g of x, it really means y. So we wanted the y coordinate and got out 2. Then we kept going with it. We just kept rolling. We said, you know what? -4. When x is -4 on the x-axis again, when x is -4 and we drew a vertical line and we wanted to find out what was the y, when it crossed our graph, we found out that our y was -3. Kept going. When x was 2, we went ahead and drew a vertical line at 2. Want to know where it crossed with our graph? That's right here. And we wanted to know the y value when we plugged in 2 and we got out 2 because the y value is 2. Lastly, our last one to plug in is we had 3. When x is 3, where does it touch our graph? And then we realized, we have an open circle up here and a closed circle. We only care about the closed circle because this closed circle means that it's actually defined. So again, we want the y value. The y value was -2. Then we got to check out the last 2 problems down here, which said, what happens when g of x is equal to -3? Remember, g of x, f of x, any of that stuff really just means y. So I wanted to find out when is y equal to -3 and when does that cross my graph? So I went to the y-axis this time, which is up and down, and I found -3. And I want to know where my graph crosses, and it crosses over here. And now, if we have the y, we want to go and find the x. So x is -4 for our first one. We had one more. We had g of x is equal to -2. G of x is equal to -2. That means y is equal to -2. So we find our -2 for y, and we want to know when is our graph. Oops, not -2, my bad. I meant +2. Mistake. Y is +2. Oopsie. So we go up to +2 and we wanted to know when was our graph crossing that. And I had all of these drawings, so maybe I should remove these a bit while we're doing this. At 2, we can see that our graph starts to touch y equals 2 here at x is equal to -1. It starts there. It also has a closed hole, but it keeps going. It's at -1, -1/2, 0, +1/2, 1, and all of the numbers in between along that up until 3. Cool. So that was a little recap of what we've done so far. And now for your homework, we are going to evaluate some functions and use it to create a graph. So this is like questions 9 and part 1 and part 2, I guess. I'm going to do the harder one with you guys. So I'm going to scroll down to the very last one. That's the harder one. So for this, you're given a function, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 12. And we're going to evaluate and turn those into coordinates. So the first number we're going to plug into our function is x is -3. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. I'm going to show my work probably right here. F of x equals 2x squared. No, I'm going to run out of space. I'm going to write my work. I'm going to put it way over to the side. I'm going to do it over here. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 12. And we want to find out when x is -3, we have f of -3. So everywhere there was an x, we're going to put -3 and find out what we get. -3. Now remember, PEMDAS says parentheses. Parentheses are good. It's just -3. And then exponents. So we need to do -3 times -3, and that's going to give us a 9. It's going to give us 9. So f of -3 is really 2 times 9 minus 12. 2 times 9 is 18 minus 12 is what f of 3 gives us. So 18 minus 12, I think that's 6. 6, yeah, 6. So we get, when we plug in -3, we get out 6. And over here, you'll notice that we have some coordinate space, right? So we're recognizing the relationship that when we plug in -3, we get out 6. And then we're just going to plot those points on the graph. Find x is -3, -1, -2, -3, and up 6, up 1, up 2, up 3, up 4, up 5, up 6, and put a big dot right where that would be. And then we'll repeat the process. And just for our different input. So I'm leaving my work here because I don't have a lot of space, but you guys would continue to plug in different values. So now the next value we're going to plug in is -2 for x. So everywhere there was an x, we're going to plug in -2. So f of -2 is equal to 2 times -2 squared minus 12. PEMDAS says -2 to the exponent needs to be done first. Parentheses don't help us. Exponents next. So -2 times -2 is +4. So we have 2 times +4 minus 12. That gives us 8 minus 12. And that gives us -4. So when x is -2, we get out -4. That relationship gives us the -2, -4 coordinate. And so when x is -2, we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a big dot. And then we just continue. The next one we would plug in is x is 0, x is 3. And then you guys will notice you'll come to this point where you get to pick a value. And these are blank. So you pick what number do you want to plug into the equation and then plot that corresponding number on there. Now, once you do, I want you to connect the dots in the best way that you can. The second one is curve. It's going to look like a U shape. And the first one is going to be a line. So go ahead. Now you know how to be successful and finish this homework. Once you're finished, take a picture of the front and the back of this worksheet and upload it into Canvas for me. It's due tonight at 11:59 p.m. And keep this worksheet. We're going to paste it into our math notebooks. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.